Oh man, is it like really, really off-centered? Radcap, can you tell me if it's like stupidly off-centered? That should be better, actually. How about now? I'm gonna be cooking a little steak while I do this. All right, I'll invite you here. This is just a little bit of pepper. I'm just putting salt and pepper on it. Hello.
Hello?
It's pretty clear for your speaker, or for your like phone mic, I should say.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's just really fucking annoying.
Yeah. All right, let me throw the steak on and step away for a second so you're not hearing greasy popping and shit.
I feel like one of those, certain types of people where they're on speakerphone all day. I think we all know who I'm talking about.
That is a thing, but I didn't think it'd be a thing out there in Scotland. Must be universal. All right, let's try noise reduction too. All right. Can you guys hear like steak bussing on the stove right now?
Yeah, sounds pretty good.
Oh, I was trying to remove that noise. I didn't know if I wanted that to not be present. That's fine. I'll step away while it cooks for a second. It's like thin strips, anyways, so it's not like I'm trying to get a delicious New York strip or something. All right. Let me position myself so that this is not. Maybe I'll do it in. Hold it up here for some time. Okay. Let's get some lefties up in here, guys. If you have any socialist, communist friends want to defend their positions. Ugh. That's what is Zulu active here again. I mean, he posts every once in a while.
Yeah, I stopped bothering with editing the short videos. I should probably get back to it, and then I'll post on TikTok again.
Yeah. That short form content, I think you got a decent amount of views when you were posting that, weren't you? Or decent amount of likes, too.
I'll get back to it. It's just I can't be bothered for the most part doing it because I'm already trying to do the long form stuff. Yeah, I'll get back to it.
Olive Lover says we need more inflammatory prompts. See what I mean? Like the rage bait stuff, like kind of important on here, but like I don't know. It just depends. How long will we be on? Probably for about an hour.
Yeah.
Give or take, depends. I'm feeling pretty sick. Zulu's got things to do. I do too. Make it like communism is slavery.
Falling asleep.
You're falling asleep, you said?
No, you said I got things to do. Things like falling asleep. Yeah. That's what I'm going to do. Pretty much.
Yeah, me too. Communism is slavery. I did see some communists running a stupid prompt the other day saying that capitalism is coercive. And they gave me like some really stupid reductios, to which I was like, biting bullets on. And like they eventually had to like redefine coercion to like harassment. They said that if like somebody asks you a million times in a row, like, do you want to sleep or can we sleep together? And you say yes, that they've coerced you into this. Like that's not the case, right? Like coercion is the implied threat of force or, something along those lines. And I was like, so on that basis, if like my coworker asks me for a ride 50 times after I said no, and I eventually say yes, you're saying he coerced me? And all these people are like, yeah, no, of course. So when your boss asks you to do things you don't want to, since he can terminate your job. He's coercing you, and all these dumb reductios. And then they were like, I had multiple of them telling me to paint the wall with my brains and stuff. I'm like, man, people are vile. People are truly vile. We got a guy with this.
It does seem like the easy solution. If somebody's asking you for a ride 50 times in a row, you've already got the car. You could just drive off, and they're not going to be able to follow you, are they?
Yeah. All right, we got somebody up here with a Sam Cedar profile pic. What you want to say, man?
On the Ayn Rand thing, I mean, she ended up taking Social Security, so I guess her morals weren't that. She wasn't really into her morals all that much. And secondly, just talking about what you guys are talking about.
Well, hold on. Let's not move on. We're not moving on. We're not moving on. That's cool. We're not moving on.
Okay,
what did Ayn Rand have to say about Social Security?
Well, I believe she said it's immoral to force everyone to pay into Social Security, or workers to pay into Social Security.
Mm-hmm.
Well, she's against it being forced, yes, but why is it against her morals to accept Social Security? Because she was taxed a whole bunch. She's taking back some of that tax money in Social Security. How is that against her morals?
Well, why did she pay tax in the first place?
Well, she was forced to. If she didn't pay tax, then she would go to jail.
But nobody forced her to take Social Security.
Okay, so therefore,
I mean, it proved it wrong on many bounds. But going back to
how did it prove it wrong?
No, we're not moving on.
If you lose your job, you lose your ability to eat food, have shelter, and have energy.
Not how it's going to work.
Is that not coercion?
If you want to move on to that subject, you can. But I would personally hold.
No, I want to. The Ayn Rand thing was just like a comment I made. I really want to jump because I heard you.
Yeah, we're not doing comments. We're doing arguments up here, man.
Yeah. Coercion necessity.
Yeah.
You are arguing that people are stupid for making that argument, and I'm saying it's silly to negate what happens if you lose your job. You lose your ability to eat, have shelter, and energy. Right? You need those to live, correct?
Yeah, but you aren't owed them. You could go off, go to the tree where you think your job grows and pick it off there.
What do you mean owed?
Are you owed a job? Are you owed somebody giving you money?
Well, these all jobs that exist in the United States exist because of the state.
How?
And, yeah.
Slow down there.
Okay.
Prove that.
Take any
Prove
industry.
that every single job which exists in the United States exists because of the government.
Take any industry. Take any job that you think that does not qualify for that. What I said.
That's not an argument, bro. Give an argument.
No, I will argue on your behalf.
What is the argument?
So I can say, for example, retail, correct? Like retail, people who sell products and goods, they rely on roads, right? Who builds the roads? Without roads, their businesses cannot function. You can't have supply chains, correct?
You can have the state
how do you have
interferes with the
chains
supply chain.
Roads?
How do you need the state to have a supply chain?
Sorry?
You said that without the state, you don't have a supply chain. Can you prove that?
Yeah, because private industry cannot support building roads, and if they do, they'll only build the roads that are profitable.
How can private industry support building roads if private industry has indeed built roads? Like, why? What about building a road? Like, you just kind of put down some.
It's about incentives. It's about incentives.
You flatten out the area.
Yeah,
and you
it's
put
about
the
incentives.
Down, that seems very easy to do for me. I think companies could probably work that out if they can work out how to send rocket ships.
They would only do what is profitable. Correct.
And you think it's impossible to profit on a road?
Yeah, especially to get access to
Let's
every person.
Let's say I run some sort of retail park, and there's a residential area nearby, and that people in the residential area, they have to go on a real long route to get to me. But I could build a road, and then suddenly it's very easy for them to get to me, and I can make a whole lot of money off my retail park. Is that an impossible situation to happen?
But you would build that road directly to every house that's there?
Is it impossible for me to make more money by having a road to my retail park?
No, yeah, it's impossible. The maintenance costs alone. Yeah, that's why the state is required to do it, and it's also guaranteeing services and access. It's like the postal service. It's like the postal service, right?
Building roads?
The postal service is in every.
the first thing it did, everyone was like, Jesus Christ, we need these things. We can't even conceive of them yet. Some sort of a route, some sort of a road to get from point A to point B. But how do we do this? We need to forcefully pay people, take money from people, go up to them with a gun to their head.
Yeah, that's how society's formed.
Or else we're not
there's
going
no
to get a
gun
road.
to your head.
Like, how do
you have a
think roads
choice? You have a choice. You can pay taxes or not, but you live in society.
They started like people just going.
You live
to
in
different
society.
places, and they now start to form.
You live in
People can
society.
approve it.
We certainly live in a society, bro.
Yeah, you advocate for a free market,
that is
but
a fact,
free market
bro.
is
We live in a
an
society.
idea that cannot. It's a dystopia. It's a dystopia that cannot exist. It has never existed.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. We totally forgot that we live in a society, bro. Totally forgot.
Yeah. And so for society to exist,
So Zulu, there are more requests. Do you want to move on?
No. Let's take your example. The roads that
You got a bunch of noise going on, bro. You got a bunch of noise going on. Hold on, Zulu. Do you want to move on?
No. Let's stay on the
let's move
point.
on.
I want to talk about the roads.
All
I
right.
want to talk about the roads and who builds them and why.
You're not really good at that. All right. By the way, Zulu, you do have the ability to mute and kick people now.
Cool.
All right. And let the next guy up. Oh, did we lose him? There. Let me make sure your mod powers are correct, though. Let me see. It says you're a mod.
Eduardo, you got to do the NPC thing where he gave a rose, so now you got to like pull out your special rose or something.
I remember, man, there was like this guy who was like pretending to be Miles Morales for a while. And like somebody called him out on the street and he had like a complete character flip and was ready to fight. What is up? What the hell? Professional what? Oh, professional bully.
Hey, what's up, Eduardo? How are you doing today, man? Just a quick question for Three Roses. I always thought Ayn Rand was an objectivist and like a left-leaning socialist. I always got that vibe. Am I wrong? Especially from
definitely not a
That
right?
socialist.
First off, that name was wrong. That sentence was pretty incoherent. Like, let's run that back.
Okay, I can't pronounce it, but I mean, my point still stands.
What? Like, come on, it's right here. It's not that hard. Like, sound it out.
Ayn Rand? But is that better?
Ayn Rand.
It's all right. But it's okay.
Yeah,
man.
Ayn
It's
Rand.
all
Yeah, I
right.
said it right. Yeah,
You're all
so
good, bro.
Ayn Rand.
Anyways,
right?
what was the
She was
question?
an objectivist and had more left-leaning views, and typically leans more towards a socialist. Would you not inherently say that it's kind of a contradiction to say that she was right?
Okay, where does she lean?
This guy's
socialist?
trolling. This guy's got to be trolling.
Dude, I'm serious. Maybe I just didn't know shit. Like I just didn't know shit, and I just want education. That's why I was offering to pay you like in roses.
Yeah, no. So she's not socialist. She doesn't lean socialist at all. She's a capitalist. She's in fact a radical for capitalism. Is how she described her politics.
Okay, bet. All right, I'll give you like 10 roses for that. Thank you.
Well, thank you. I don't know what.
Not you.
No, you should give it to him. He answered your question. He answered your question, bro. You should give him to
Oh
him.
shit. Well, you give it to him then, because I already sent you 9.
All right.
What does a
All
rose
right.
do? Is that like Reddit
I think it's
upvotes
like
or
a-
something?
I think it's like a penny or something.
Oh,
I can't request to join. Oh, yeah, you got done dirty, Ben. All right. I actually thought that guy was trolling. There's like,
I don't have a lot to say. I disagree with you, but I just want to let you know that Ayn Rand was a home-wrecking bitch, and she slept with my grandfather while he was married to my grandmother. So
you're a liar.
damn!
I'm 100% telling the truth.
No, you're not.
Yes, I am.
Your grandpa's made for the streets.
He was a slut, but
You got any evidence for like what you just said?
I'm not going to give you my grandfather's name, but he was a journalist in San Francisco. Ayn Rand
Can you give us their
published-
social security number instead?
Yeah. She published a piece on how there were no heterosexual men left in San Francisco, and then she slept with my grandfather.
Oh, she had to investigate for like herself.
Yeah.
She had to test.
Anyway,
Yeah.
I hate that bitch. That's all I got to say.
It was an experiment. She's saying there's no heterosexuals left in San Francisco, and like he was like, "Hey, I'll prove you wrong."
I would
What a
like
strange
to say,
thing.
I would like to say I also fucked Ava's grandfather.
That's crazy. Yeah, what a strange like. Why would somebody come up here and say something like that? I don't get it. All right, we're gonna try this person again. I don't know what happened here. Let's do it again. Rand is chopped. That's your granddad's fault. That's a good point.
Granddad had low standards. Get that man some glasses, bro.
Okay, the person didn't come up. I don't know what's going on. Like, sometimes I add whoever was requesting, request again. I don't know what's going on.
I bet it was the best sex your grandfather ever had.
The most objectively rational sex.
Yeah.
Dog, it's literally giving me strikes right now. What did I do?
What did you do?
TikTok.
I have to remove you, Ben. I mean, you can request up again, or maybe use a different account, but I had to remove you. Otherwise, we're gonna get the live strike. All right, let's see. Is that him again?
That's disgusting.
They might still do it again. You might have to come back on another account. We'll see.
This is the last one I have, man.
Oh, man.
PraxBen Incel King.
All right, guys. Invite your lefty friends. Socialist, communists, anti-objectivists.
What happened to PraxBen? What's the question?
The old
What
PraxBen.
happened to me? Well, I was born, first of all. That's where it all started.
Well, let's go right back.
Then I got
first
circumcised
day.
next.
Dude, that was such a weird lore drop. Like, what the fuck was that? I'm still thinking about that weird-ass interaction.
I've actually met two different women who have slept with Elvis Presley. So, you know, these things happen.
I suppose so.
I also slept with Elvis Presley.
Did they sleep with him during his fat phase, or?
No.
Come on, guys. We got 33 people watching. One of you guys have to disagree. There's no way all of you guys agree.
Me, Elvis Presley, and Ava's grandfather had a three-way.
Nice. I think that's yeah. Her grandfather, and then Ayn Rand came in. She was interested in the rock and roll.
Well, her grandfather's the one that came in. But yeah.
It might only be ANCAPs here. I don't know.
Didn't it say it had like a fucking 1,000 likes or some shit? I don't understand how this works.
We're at 2,400 likes, but yeah, actually, if you guys can tap the screen
How
and
the fuck does that
try
work?
to
It's
drive
only
some more.
goddamn 33 people here.
If you just like
Smash that like
spam
button.
tap, yeah, you just got to smash the like button, bro. Please get Hegel fan. I don't know what Hegel fan's doing.
No one likes him.
I've talked to Hegel fan plenty of times. That would be a Zulu conversation rather than me.
Yeah, no one likes him.
He's cool.
Nah, nobody thinks that.
I think he's cool.
Nobody thinks that.
I think he's a nice guy, a smart guy.
Bro can't even grow facial hair. He's like a little Twinkie boy.
See, I don't know anything about that, but then, anyways, go on, guys, send this to some lefties.
Oh wait, hold on.
Like 30
if I can copy the link and then like send it to my Discord or some shit.
Oh yeah, that's a good idea.
Does this mustache make me look like a cop?
Kind of, yeah.
Wait.
Oh, we got a request. Let's go. Here we go. Oh, wait, it's Ace. You're a libertarian, bro.
Hola.
What's up, man?
Clearly the only objectively correct socialist slash communist.
Why do you talk like that?
Big's not real.
What's up, man? What do you got to say? Any arguments?
Yeah, it's the best argument ever that can't be refuted.
What's that?
Socialism is correct because it makes me feel good.
Okay. For sure. You got any
Thumbs up.
got any other ones?
Dialectics are true because they're false. By their own belief. So, you know.
No offense, bro. I'm gonna keep it to just us three up here, but be around. Anyways,
I wasn't insulting his voice. I was insulting his accent. There's a difference.
Oh, Radcap was watching. Radcap, if you want to take any shots. I don't think he is watching anymore. Oh, I think he is, actually.
We'll take some shots on Radcap.
If Zulu, if my friend Radcap comes up here, he is a former objectivist. I don't want to speak for his full position. It's gotten a little confusing for me lately. But, he's like a former objectivist, and I don't even know where he's landed. That does
happen with former objectivists. They go into like weird rabbit holes. Like that happened with fucking Schizoid as well. Like now he's, I mean, the name fits
yeah.
him.
Yeah. He, I think he like believes in like, I think it's called process philosophy, right?
Yeah.
Wait, wasn't Schizoid an objectivist like 14 minutes ago? What?
Yeah.
Yeah, basically. Yeah, no, my friend Radcap tried talking to him about metaphysics, and it didn't go anywhere. He apparently wasn't able to really articulate any arguments. What happened to PraxBen accounts? Why can you not be on lives? That's not important, bro. What's important is getting some socialists up here.
I committed crimes. Felonies.
30 people. None of you guys disagree? Like, is this a serious thing right now? Like, none of you disagree?
I think Ayn Rand was wrong.
Under no pretext should arms and ammunition be surrendered, Karl Marx. Why are you saying that? Like, what the hell is that supposed to mean?
And
why are you saying that to us?
Ayn Rand was wrong about everything.
On Rod.
What did that guy say earlier?
Ayn
Like,
Rand?
He said a really twisted mouth version of that name.
He said
Ayn
Rand. Ayn Rand.
God,
You get like the weirdest fucking pronunciations of Ayn Rand.
Ayn Rand, more like Ayn Wrong.
I couldn't think of like when I first saw the name like years ago before I had like read anything of hers. I don't think I mispronounced it. I thought that's either Ayn or Ein. Like, and Rand is you got to be stupid to not know how that's pronounced. But like
like Rand is a somewhat common name. Like there's fucking Rand Paul.
Bring up socialist author.
You're local. I can prove you wrong. Yeah, come up here. Let's do it.
Yeah, that's.
I just debated him yesterday. Was it yesterday? I don't even fucking know. 2 days ago?
No, this is that guy?
Yeah. So I'm not going to say anything. Except maybe a silly joke here and there.
Oh, we got somebody. Wait, no. Damn it. This guy's name is Dr. Galt.
Wait.
With the mustache, you and Ben are starting to look more similar by the day.
Except I'm more handsome. Dr. Galt, you clearly are
not
going to be in opposition, but what's up?
Nothing. I just saw Ayn Rand was right, so I just figured
Ayn Rand?
Yeah. No, I'm not.
Wait, how did you say the name?
Ayn Rand.
Dr. Galt, man. That is not how you pronounce her name, brother.
What? Yeah, it is.
It's Ayn.
No, it's Ayn Rand.
What do you think the function of the Y is? No.
Huh?
No.
Oh, I'm not.
Your
wait
local
a minute.
socialist author doesn't have an ID. What are you trying to like skim people's IDs with this or something?
That's weird. What the hell?
And Rand.
I haven't verified my ID. That's weird. I didn't know you had to like. I don't think you have to do that. You didn't have to do that, did you, Zilla?
I don't remember, but I mean, I might have.
I don't remember doing anything like that. I think that Dr. Galt guy was that dude on Twitter, like Fountainhead Forum or something. His voice sounded familiar.
I don't think so.
You don't think his voice sounded similar?
Fountainhead Forum's voice is a little more gravelly, I think.
Oh, it was super gravelly, but you're right. Now that I think about it, it's even more gravelly than that. You're right.
PraxBen, you're low-key hot. I think the word you're looking for is high-key.
Hi, Zulu. I love you, although I'm a libertarian socialist. All right.
Well, thank you.
It's not real.
I think that's an oxymoron, but thanks
Big
nonetheless.
Christ is king.
Come on, guys. What's going on? Share this a little more. We're almost at 50 people. Where the fuck are the ops? Like, what is going on right now?
Look at me, frame log.
They saw me and they went running.
I guess so, man. It's all libertarians. If that's the case, I'm surprised because like I know there are libertarians on this app, but to this degree, I didn't think so.
There's 48 people in here. There's no way they're all ANCAPs.
That's what I'm saying. Like, there's no way.
Your local socialist author, but he apparently can't join, which is a shame.
Bring up ANCAP Doggo to debate us all on the NAP. All three of us will take the
You should
negative.
debate us on a Belle Delphine.
Who's that?
Oh yeah, that's what I was going to tell you
Belle
earlier.
Delphine.
I've never heard of that
Yeah.
person.
Yes, you have.
What the fuck you mean, yes, I have?
You are a liar.
What are you talking about?
She's the one
This
who
guy's
sold her
capping.
bathwater.
What? I thought that was
She sold-
Sydney Sweeney.
No, she sold
No,
her
Sydney
bath
Sweeney's
soap.
the actress.
Oh.
She sold like her bathwater in a soap bar,
Yeah,
but like
I
Bella
bought it all.
Delphine. Yeah,
I bought every last bit of that shit.
Bella Delphine though, she sold her bathwater for a massively viral stunt. I don't even remember how much money she made. It was preposterous.
I remember I saw some guy vaping it.
No way. No way.
Type of shit Eduardo would do.
I'm gonna mute for a split
Yo.
second while I do something.
I disagree, although it's on a bit of a level of intention rather than application of these socialist beliefs. So that's still all right.
Okay, so the intention behind socialism you're saying is good, because I disagree with that. Like, what about the intention of socialism do you think is good?
Yeah, so I was just pointing out, with specifically the socialist communist belief, the tendency to want to subsidize citizens who are failing within a capitalist system, specifically ones in intense poverty, and at the cost of people who have more money than they necessarily need. I find that ethically to be not bad in the intention, because seeing that it comes from a very human emotional place of a good intention, even if the application is in a way that is not fair on my moral beliefs even.
Okay, so like, how is it a good intention to want to take from those who have and give to those who don't have? Why is that a good thing?
Well, I just said why, in the fact of you're seeing someone suffering and you emotionally are affected by that if you're a lot of these socialist communists, and you see someone who is far past being in any danger of suffering, and maybe even someone who makes their income from something not of even great effort, even if they've earned it fairly within a system of capitalist free trade. Someone who may be, I mean, on TikTok you play them, people who may...
Well, I suppose the question is, why do people suffer? Well, the answer is that poverty is the natural state. Well, then the real question is, how do you get out of poverty? And the answer is production. People have to produce in order to cut back at poverty. So what you're really saying is you want to sort of take from the people who are producing, you want to punish the people who are doing the production in the first place, and give to the people who by definition are not doing that production. So you're undercutting the root of your own sustenance. You're punishing people because they're doing the good thing. It's hatred of the good because it's good. That's why it's bad intention, and that's why it ends up being bad existentially as well.
I wouldn't agree with that. I say that ethically the intention is good, even if I also agree that the application is bad, and the application is, in my opinion, immoral, to be taking from those who naturally succeed within a free market system. Although, yeah, I saw there was no one coming up to disagree. It's kind of a technicality, I understand that. I just wanted to throw that in there and see what you thought about it.
Like, what specifically do you think, like, the intention is? Because I'm confused. The intention seems to be to take from people who have and give to people who don't have. That seems to be the intention. And then you're saying, well, that's actually the application, which you disagree with. It's like, what is the good intention if it's not this altruism, which I think is wholly evil, which is why it ends up being so terrible in practice?
Well, I saw the intention as being that of wanting to aid those who may, in your opinion, this is from the opinion of a socialist or communist, be failing, whereas they're working to succeed, while others may work at the same level and have different location or circumstance that aids to succeed. I'm not saying it's not fair. I think anything in a capitalist system is fair if that's a free market system, although it's the fact that the intention of the socialist communist does come from, in part, a moral, ethical place of emotional need or want to help those who they see as suffering unfairly. As there is some unfair parts in a free market system. You may have someone who is cheated and is not yet found by whatever public or private lawyers you would have in that possible capitalist.
Okay, so the specifically, if I'm getting you right here, the good intention would be seeing people who are like suffering under poverty and whatever, and just having like a desire, like, hey, I don't want that to happen anymore. I want to help those people.
That's what I was saying.
Okay, well, I would disagree that that's the intention behind socialism. Maybe some young socialists are like that, and sure, they can grow out of it. But I think like the academic socialists, and Jordan Peterson talks about this actually a lot. It's not just the objectivists. The academic socialists, it really is motivated by hatred of humanity. Like I'm completely convinced of that.
Actually, Robert Nozick, Thomas Sowell, and Hans Hermann Hoppe all have good stuff on the elites and why they support socialism. And they're all kind of very similar things that make a nice, neat little circle. But also, if you look at political psychology research, even the average socialist is generally not motivated by actual care for the poor. That's why you have these studies where they survey people and they ask them, oh, would you rather policy A, which hurts the rich a little bit and helps the poor a lot, or policy B, which hurts the rich a lot and helps the poor a little bit? They always choose policy B, the socialist, that is, because it's not driven by an actual care for the poor. It is, in fact, driven by hatred for the rich, and it's driven by envy. Also, read The Anti-Capitalistic Mentality by Mises. Obviously, that's probably the most important work in all of this. But, I mean, yeah, as Zulu said, there are some people who probably do have, fairly good hearts, and they're like, oh, I just want to help the poor. But broadly speaking, that is not the socialist, and it is certainly not their intellectuals.
Yeah, I guess maybe my experience would be more with the socialists of that younger generation. As Zulu was talking about, those younger socialists, as in my opinion, would make up that majority and powerful majority if you have a democratic system in which all have an equal vote, that being the larger normie majority having a larger power, even if they are even if they are a very non-intelligent majority. And also, I don't really have anything else to say. I just wanted to kind of throw something in there. I also want to say, just both of you, I love your content. Thanks for everything you do.
Appreciate you coming up, dude. See ya. All right, Zulu. In the request, we got like 5 people. I don't know 4 of them, but one of them I do know is Hegel fan. He's a pretty smart guy. Probably want to talk to you more than you want to talk to me. Would you be interested in picking a random, or you want to talk to him?
Sure, if he wants to come up.
He's a philosophy and an econ guy. I don't think he's actually a Hegelian, but I don't want to speak on his behalf.
I like some. There's a very specific reading of Hegel that I like. A guy named Robert Brandom's sort of inferentialist reading. I like. Yeah, what's good? How are we doing?
Hello there.
Curious.
So I'm interested in this. Obviously, we don't have to go into this because you'll have like some specific thing. But I'm curious what an inferentialist reading of Hegel would mean.
Yeah, so it's a bit niche. So Brandom is in this tradition. It's called the Pittsburgh School, which comes after Sellers. He reads Hegel as a conceptual realist and thinks that the sort of relevant conceptual roles are fixed by their inferential roles, and then that sort of structures. There's a lot, but it's a whole thing. I can there's a good, not by Brandom, but there's a good paper from, I think his name's Redding. It gives sort of an overview, but yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess I'm curious.
Does it make like Hegel less wacky? Because from what I understand of it, I haven't read Hegel because, oh my god, I don't want to torture myself.
Sure.
But like the interpretations I've seen, he seems very wacky. Like everything is there's like this absolute mind, and it's all contradictions leading into like the inevitable absolute mind. Like it seems wacky as shit.
he's Hegel's a wacky guy. I mean, the reason I like Brandom is because he's sort of a deflationist about a lot of it, right? So, so for Brandom, like Geist is the sort of community of mutual recognizers engaged in norm-governed practices, norm-governed discursive practice specifically. It's not like, like the mind of God or whatever, however you want to read, which I think is actually probably closer to what Hegel actually meant, but
who knows?
I think, yeah. But I think Brandom is closer to saying something interesting, but that's, yeah, there's a lot there. But I guess I'm curious, do you still defend argumentation ethics?
That's not really the road I normally go down. I think it is a valid argument in a particular context, but I don't think it is the be all and end all of demonstrating the NEP. I think that you still can go away from argumentation ethics and go, well, I'm just going to be an animal and run about as an animal. Argumentation ethics doesn't really have anything to say about that. I don't even think Hoppe would necessarily claim that it does have anything to say about that.
And when you say, so I guess there's two things. One, when you say it's a valid argument, do you mean you think Hoppe gives a formally valid argument? Because that's not, I've never found him doing that. And also when you say be an animal, is that just to say not sort of obey the NAP, or what's meant there?
Yeah, basically just don't justify your conduct. I think it is the argument's correct in as far as it goes. It just doesn't go as far as some people try to make it go, I'll say.
Do you think justifying your conduct is incompatible with non-NAP absolutism?
Yes.
Okay. I don't think that there are good arguments for that. If you want to chat about that, like for example, like do you think there's some logical contradiction between, justifying your views, whatever that means, and I don't know, having alternative normative views to the NAP?
Yes, and we can continue going down this, but I will warn you, it's been a long time since I've studied argumentation ethics, so I won't necessarily be the best proponent of it.
Sure. That's, I won't be too evil about it.
Yeah, I do think there is a contradiction, specifically because by doing it, you are assuming certain things, namely non-aggression, whilst committing aggression, or trying to justify aggression, rather. Because presumably you're not doing the argument whilst you're beating the man. But
sure.
Maybe you are.
So I guess there's a couple things. I mean, I think that in general, and this is a sort of broader worry about the theory, is that it seems like it's confused about the sorts of contradictions that falsify a theory. So for example, like if my doctor, while smoking a cigarette, tells me not to smoke, right? That doesn't mean that it's false that I shouldn't smoke cigarettes, right? Like, probably shouldn't smoke cigarettes. So the sorts of contradictions that falsify a theory are a theoretical commitment to a proposition and its negation, not just sort of an individual commitment to both, right? Like, there are NAP believers who I'm sure, believe contradictions, right? So there's that. But it's also sort of unclear to me why I would think that my conduct in arguing is incompatible with alternative normative views, right? Like, it seems like it's perfectly consistent, for example, to be, an objective list theorist, utilitarian, right? And still think that it's perfectly okay for me to engage in argumentation in a lot of instances.
Well, so let's and apologize because I'm not able to write down your arguments.
Yeah, really good. Yeah, we can go one by one.
Confounded computer tablet device instead of on my computer. Jesus Christ! I just looked at PraxBen. What the fuck is going on there?
He's looking beautiful.
But let's take the example you had of the doctor who's currently smoking and telling you shouldn't smoke. So indeed, there he is engaged in a performative contradiction. Now, what does this mean? It means one of the things he's implying is false, right? Either that it's false that he should be smoking, or maybe it's good for him to smoke, and it's not good for you. But we'll assume he says nobody should smoke, right, whilst he's smoking. That implies that one of his premises is wrong, either that he should smoke right there, or that nobody should smoke. One of those two things is false. Now, it would take investigation to discover which one is false. But the reason why argumentation ethics is special is because it's in any act of justifying that you assume these things. So whenever you're doing any justification, you have to assume certain things. So you're going to be in contradiction no matter what if you try and propose something in opposition to that. It's got to be a contradiction. So then Hoppe says, well, then it can't be justified. Or at least I'm saying it can't be justified.
Sure.
Now, maybe it's still fine that it can't be justified. Now that's why I'm saying argumentation ethics doesn't go as far as like people want it to go necessarily. But it is still valid. Like you can't indeed justify those things.
Yeah, so I guess there's a few worries. One is just it's still super unclear to me why the act of justifying your views presupposes the NAP, right? Just because, I mean, presumably we agree that it's my justifying my views is consistent with all sorts of ethical theories, right? And so it seems like, given that it's consistent with all of these ethical theories, it can't be the case that it assumes, the falsity of these ethical theories, right?
I'm going to be honest with you. It's been too long. I can't remember all of the steps for why aggression or argumentation has to be conflict free. Because there are a bunch of edge cases and stuff which Hoppe deals with, which I just can't remember at the moment. So, because again, it's been very long since I've actually used it.
Yeah, sorry. To be clear, what I'm saying isn't that argumentation doesn't have to be conflict-free. What I'm saying is my behavior in arguing is consistent with this wide array of ethical views, right? And given that my behavior is consistent with all of these ethical views, it seems quite strange to say that I'm assuming just one of these views and assuming the falsity of all of these other views, which are, again, logically consistent with my... Maybe there's some other notion of consistency being appealed to, but it's just obviously true that my behavior in justifying my views is consistent with basically all ethical views, right?
Okay, but the thing which Hoppe is doing here is basically going, well, because you might not be consistent with, utilitarianism in one argument you're making, but you might be consistent in a different argument you're making. Whereas in any argument you're making, you're going to be presupposing that, well, we shouldn't be engaged in a conflict right now. We should be trying to peacefully solve this dispute that we have. That's like the unique thing about it.
Well, so you're going to be presupposing that in this instance, you shouldn't engage in aggression or whatever, right? But it's just unclear to me why, but you're also presupposing a whole bunch of other things, right? You're presupposing, for example, that, I'm sorry, what was that?
No, I was agreed.
Yeah, okay. So I guess it's unclear to me why, again, given that my behavior is consistent with all of these other ethical views, right? Why it shows the falsity of these other ethical views, right? It just seems like the sort of most obvious thing in the world to me that if the argument is trying to show that my behavior is inconsistent with all of these other ethical views, that just agreeing that
it's not entirely consistent. Like, for instance, like if the ethical view is, if it at any point involves that you shouldn't resolve disputes peacefully, well, then you can't defend that point. Like, it's indefensible in argument. But, it might be fine that it's indefensible.
That's just question begging though, right? Like, the point is that that's what the argument is trying to establish, but the point is I don't think the argument establishes that, right? Because again, I think you can justify all of these, I think you can justify sort of conflict resolution means in some instances, right? And so it's sort of unclear to me why I would think that the argument establishes that, again, it's inconsistent with my arguing that in some instances we should resolve conflicts or resolve disagreement conflictually or whatever.
So the point is that basically you can't at the same time be saying, oh, let's right now, let's peacefully decide, and I'm going to peacefully try and convince you that, in this instance, I should beat you to death. And also be doing the beating to death. That is simply inconsistent. Now, it might be fine to beat that person to death, and maybe you shouldn't argue in that instance. But I think that is disproven elsewhere in ethics.
Sorry, to be clear, you think that so all you think the argument establishes is just that you can't be both arguing and engaging in aggression? Because that's sort of trivial, right? Like, obviously you can't be, just given how Hoppe uses the terms, right? Argumentation just excludes a priori, like that's just what the term means, excludes conflictual conflict maximizing resolution of disagreement or whatever. So if all the argument establishes is just that analytic truth, I think the argument's quite weak.
Okay.
Okay. I mean, sorry, to be clear, what I was asking is, do we think that's all the argument establishes? Is just that you can't both be arguing and not be arguing?
So
that's
I think
true,
I think it establishes that you can't justify in conduct in any sort of argumentation. You can't justify why it's better to resolve disputes by initiating aggression or initiating conflict, I should say, against someone. I think it establishes that.
Okay, but
again, I don't remember. I can't prove it to you right now because I can't remember.
Okay. That's fine. Do you, since we've got just a little under or give or take 10 minutes, Zulu, do you want to move on to somebody else?
Yeah, we can move on. I might be able to go a little bit later, actually.
Sure. Yeah, at some point I want to talk about the ECP with you. Also, Ben, I've written out some of my worries about your Christian ethics article, but so we'll have to talk about that at some point. But yeah,
nobody's safe from me, bro. Jeez.
I'm not going to read it.
All right, that's fine. That's fine. Yeah, have a good one. I am, of course, going to be chalking this in the Hegel Fan W column, given that you conceded you cannot defend argumentation ethics, Zulu. But
that's crazy. All right, man. We'll see you.
Go ahead.
Yeah, you too.
Notice how Hegel Fan was arguing the whole time.
Fuck, there are a few people here. We got a Marxist Galt. We got Cam. We got Tio.
Marxist Galt?
Right? That has to be a troll, right? Like, there's no way.
That's got to be a troll.
It's the same guy.
Favorism, Leop. Shaverism was in here saying that he wanted to defend socialism, I think, morally. I think he's been in and out of the request, so let's give it a shot.
Favor's immoral.
Hello.
You know this person?
No, I just think he's immoral.
Oh, okay.
All right. So I'm gonna try and justify socialism.
Let's hear it.
So, I mean, let's take a look at capitalist societies, right? From a Marxist point of view, you have this idea of basically two classes, right? You have proletariat and bourgeoisie, right? You guys can accept that those two classes exist, at least.
No.
Maybe you don't have the same opinions about class conflict, but you can accept, right, that there is a proletariat and there is a bourgeoisie, right?
No, I can't accept that.
Why not?
Well, because I know what you mean by that. You mean there's different groups with different logics. That's what Marx is talking about. He said that the proletarians have different logic than the bourgeoisie. I do not accept that. I'm not a polylogist is the term Mises used, I believe. I'm not that. I think there's one logic. It's Aristotle's logic. So I reject that premise.
All right. Well, then how do you see the class divisions in society? How do you see that?
I don't agree with class divisions in society. I mean, you can make some sort of class theory, whatever. Go ahead, but so long as you're not claiming that there's different logics for different classes of people, that's nonsense. I reject that. There's only one logic.
What's your opinion on poverty?
I think it's a bad thing. I think people should stop choosing to be poor. Choose to be rich.
Poor. Here we're gonna get into like this whole like NAP and the whole thing's voluntary. Every transaction, all this stuff is voluntary, right? It's all voluntary. It's all voluntary.
I don't think everything's voluntary. There's plenty of involuntary things which happen.
Well, yeah, as a result of the state, and I understand that.
And among other things, yeah.
But you're telling me that like the relationship between an employer and an employee is entirely voluntary. Everything, it's all voluntary.
For the most part, unless like the employer is like stabbing the employee after each shift or something. I imagine for most employee-employer relationships, yeah, it's voluntary.
I'd say that generally does not tend to happen, right?
Okay. Well.
Yeah, we agree, man. We agree.
I mean, with a calculator, you can figure out that if not for the labor of a given individual, said company would not make certain amount of profit. Why can't that amount of profit be what a worker is?
Yeah, that's why they hire them.
Why can't that amount of profit be what a worker's paid?
Because then they wouldn't hire them because they wouldn't make any profit.
I mean, yeah. So what's the need for
let's say you could generate
the factory owner?
Hold on, let's say you could generate $20 an hour for me, and you're suggesting that I should pay you $20 an hour. It's like, well, fuck, why? Why bother? Just to have you around?
You could work in the factory for $20 an hour.
But why would I pay that if that's all that you possibly can generate me? Well, I'm taking on all the risk of having all this capital, and I'm paying you just to kind of like make me no money. It's like, great, yeah, great deal.
Well, maybe your motivation shouldn't be that.
What should it be? What should my motivation be as a business owner who's taking on all this risk? And if I go belly up, there goes the town's economy. What should my motivation be? To make you happy? You particularly?
Your motivation as a worker, right, should be to work and provide for yourself as an individual.
Correct?
Is that what he asked?
I don't see a society with business owners in it, dude.
What?
If from a capitalist standpoint,
who runs the businesses? Hold on, who runs the businesses then?
Have you ever heard of a worker co-op?
Yeah. Okay, so they're all gonna vote basically on what happens with the business. But what's wrong? I mean, Ben, I know knows a lot about co-ops, so you can go down the economic route with him if you want. But I do want to know, like, what's because you're trying to make the moral point here. What's immoral about me, starting up a business? I've got all this capital. Sorry about that. I've got all this capital, and I want to hire people. Let's say I'm starting a logging company. I own all this fucking forested area. I own all the machines to chop it down. I own the trucks to transport it. What's wrong with me hiring someone to man the truck, hiring someone to man the logging machines, people to run the warehouse? What's wrong with me doing that?
There's nothing wrong with you hiring those people. What I'm saying is
the fact that isn't moral.
The fact that you're in control, right? And you're using that control to ultimately what you'd be doing.
There's nothing immoral about me being a capitalist and doing that. Correct?
What'd you say?
There's nothing immoral about me doing that. That's what you said. Nothing immoral.
Well, not inherently of you hiring workers. No.
Inherently, there's nothing immoral about me being a capitalist and running a business. Being a business
about how
owner.
you treat
so
your
therefore,
workers.
Socialism is false because socialism says that is immoral. That I'm exploiting the workers there.
Well, yeah, generally, it pretty much always is, right?
Well,
unless there are
actual
laws or regulations in place to protect workers from exploitation, they will be exploited.
I'm sorry, but you've conceded the point here.
Also, before we move on,
to be explicit.
By definition, what you call exploitation is just profiting. So like in any instance where there's profit, like this is so stupid. Sorry, Zulu, what did you want him to concede on before we move on?
I want him to explicitly concede because he has implicitly conceded. He said there's nothing inherently immoral about me being a capitalist and running a business. So I want him to explicitly concede that this rejects socialism. That socialism rejects that you can be a moral capitalist.
Well, you can't extract the surplus value and be moral. That's for sure. You can't.
What does that mean? Sorry, I'm a little slow. What does it mean for me to extract surplus value? Like I've got all the guys,
surplus value.
They're all agreeing on this, and I'm like, hey, I'll pay you this much to run this truck. I'll pay you this much to do this logging. I'll pay, and we all agree to this. What is it? Where's this surplus value coming from? Because we're all profiting here. We're all making more money than we would otherwise.
Like I said before,
so what's the problem?
Like when a worker, let's just say that a worker did not do a certain amount of labor, right? Hypothetically, and then the company doesn't make that profit. So without this person's input, the company loses out on this much, which means with this person's input, the company gains that much.
Okay, so let me ask you something
they
about
produce that value off of their own labor, right? Right.
Let me ask you something about that.
And I understand if the whole company were not there.
Real quick. I'm going up to this hot dog vendor. He sells hot dogs for $5. I'm like, whoa, that looks like a good hot dog. It looks like a good, tasty hot dog. I would much rather have that hot dog than $5 in my pocket. So I give this hot dog vendor $5. He gives me the hot dog. I come away with something much better than the $5. He comes. He doesn't want that hot dog anymore. He wants the $5. So he gets something better than the hot dog, right? So we both won out there. Who was exploited?
This is a consumer and seller relationship,
Correct.
not an employee and
but
employer
they both
relationship.
profit.
I don't.
But do you agree that they both profit there?
Well, okay. I mean, you're presupposing that both parties have a choice whether or not to make this transaction, but they don't.
Yep.
In the real world, under capitalist
just in this scenario, let's not go off this scenario though. Do they both profit there?
In that specific scenario, I guess yes, they probably would profit.
Okay, and so would you disagree with the general claim that in any voluntary trade there's mutual profit? That is, both parties profit from that trade.
Yes. There are a lot of different scenarios.
Hold on.
All right.
So I just want to be clear here. Do you agree or disagree with that statement?
With what statement again?
That there is mutual profit in any voluntary trade.
I disagree.
Why do you disagree? What's the counterexample?
Relationships between employers and employees, and I'm going to lean on this example.
Why is that a counterexample?
It's the one that I've analyzed the most.
Because it's not voluntary? Is that why it's a counterexample?
It's hard to call it voluntary. I mean, listen.
Okay, but listen to the statement here. The statement is, there is mutual profit in any voluntary trade. Do you disagree with that?
Yes. By your definition of voluntary, I would. By your definition of voluntary.
We can get into what voluntary means in a bit, but I just want to know if you agree with that statement.
No, I've said no.
So you don't think there's mutual profit in any voluntary trade. What's a voluntary trade where there isn't mutual profit?
A voluntary trade where there is not mutual profit. Like I said, the relationship between employers and employees.
Is that because it's involuntary?
Okay. Our definitions of voluntary are not the same.
On your view, is that because it's involuntary, that interaction?
Well, yeah, it's involuntary.
Okay. I'm gonna go back a step again. The statement is
would be to not make money.
There is mutual profit
you die.
In any voluntary trade. Do you disagree that there's mutual profit in any voluntary trade?
Yes, I would disagree with that principle.
Okay. What's the counterexample?
The counterexample? Okay, so let's say that there is an employer. Let's say that there is.
And is it because it's involuntary?
It's a factory owner,
Is it
right?
because it's involuntary?
Bro, you're not tracking this at all, man.
He's not.
That's crazy.
Let's move on. What
wait. All right. First, I want to ask something. So, your big problem with capitalism seems to be the involuntary relationship. So, if you became president tomorrow and you instituted a socialist economy and turned all the businesses into worker co-ops, what if I don't want to work in a worker co-op? What if I want to be an employee and have a boss? Do I have to work in the worker co-op?
If you want a boss?
Yeah. Because I don't want to go to 8-hour meetings every single week, and I don't want to vote on all of these different capital allocation and investments. I don't want to do all that. You know how much people who work at worker co-ops have to do? They do a shit ton of. They have hours and hour-long meetings where they have to vote on fucking everything. It's
I'm not saying that worker co-ops need to be universal for every business, because that's not realistic. There are some businesses which need autocratic leadership. What I'm saying is that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, of course. Okay.
Damn.
You want to know why Yugoslavia's economy struggled so much? Was because they tried to put everything as a worker co-op. For the most part, they tried to, force worker co-ops on a lot of things that couldn't be worker co-ops.
So the problem with Yugoslavia is they instituted a socialist economy. I wouldn't have guessed that personally, but
what I'm saying specifically is they instituted the wrong kind of market socialism, a shitty kind of market socialism, which doesn't work. Right?
Okay. So capitalism is bad because the employer relationship is involuntary. Therefore, we have to have worker co-ops. But worker co-ops suck really badly, so we only have to have a couple of worker co-ops. Is that the argument?
Whatever can be, probably should be.
All right. That's all right.
Very insightful answer.
We should get some sort of a market mechanism to decide how many market co-ops there should be, right?
Oh, jeez. I had to remove that guy. Hey, by the way, Zulu, we got 70-something viewers here. This is actually a pretty good number.
I'm not Hispanic. Stop saying I'm Hispanic.
We've also got a good amount of requests. Why don't you pick one? And you should be able to look at the guests. Are you able to?
Which darn button do I click? I'm sorry, I'm a boomer.
Bottom left corner. There you are. Bottom left corner. There's like these two people.
It says
icon.
type.
What?
It says type in the bottom left corner.
Tight.
For the chat.
No, he's a mod. He should be able to do that, right, Ben? He should be able to just let people up. That's what all mods are usually.
I'll let people up.
There's an invite button. I've got an invite button.
Oh, here, that's my fault. It's now you can do it. Now you can do it. That's my fault. All right.
Wait,
there are like 6 people in there.
I took care of it.
Let me. Damn, I was gonna let Zulu pick. Okay.
Yeah, fuck Zulu.
It still didn't show up for me, so I don't know what to tell you.
Guess who it is?
This guy looks like a Mormon or something.
It's me. My account wouldn't work earlier. I apologize for that. So, I don't know anything about Ayn Rand, so I'm not going to do that one. I'm going to do the one below that, okay? So I can prove that socialism is good, but what do you guys believe is good? That's very vague. So prove my beliefs are good in what way? Good for the working class? What way?
So you should define what the term means and by what standard you're appealing to.
Go off on a whim here.
See if it's valid here in the first place.
Class, not good for the rich. The reason.
What is good? Wait. Hold on. Why is he still yapping? Why is he still yapping? Holy shit! You can't. I asked you. Like we're asking for a definition.
He's a vacuum cleaner salesman. He goes door to door. That's why he looks.
I guess so.
So respectable.
So what do you mean by good? Good for the working class, not the what, dude? What is good in this instance? You're muted, bro. You have to unmute. Bro, he's talking despite the fact that I just told him that he's on mute. He's probably still yapping and just like not done with his train of thought.
I did not realize I was muted. My fault.
Yeah, it's because you kept talking over me, man. So anyways, I asked you, like, what do you mean by good? And you just said good for X group and not good for Y group. What do you mean by good, bro?
It benefits them.
What do you mean by benefit? This is just like a synonym.
In every single way, you could argue.
That benefit means in every single way? Is that a coherent like definition?
So let me place it to you. In education, healthcare, a lot of ways. I could go on and on.
I'd rather you not. I just want you to answer the question.
Yeah, it benefits the working class. It doesn't benefit the rich.
Zulu, you want to take
rich
it?
People are better than the working class.
Hold on, I can't hear you. What?
Well, so I think that rich people are better than the working class. So what about them? Why shouldn't we benefit them?
Because they exploit the working class.
Sorry, I did not catch that.
Because they exploit the working class.
Okay, we might go down the exact same route here.
Yeah, let's you want to keep it moving?
By me. That's fine by me. He didn't provide a good defense.
No, it's all right, bro. You're sitting here frame mogging too. You're like in a frame mogging competition with Ben. We're gonna just keep moving, but I appreciate it because there's a lot of people up here, and you just debated Ben like what, a day ago or two. Who is Tumblr? You look familiar.
I do like the outfit though. He's got a good outfit on.
Yeah.
Hey, what's up, guys? I thoroughly enjoyed coming in and listening to you guys debate. You guys are awesome.
Appreciate it.
But I came up hopefully that people come in and listen to your debate because a lot of people follow me until I so.
A lot of people follow you, you said?
Yeah, I host a lot of lives on here, and I want people to come in here. So I said, let me up so people come in and listen to you guys.
Nice.
Oh, Ben, do you know him?
Yeah, I added him because it'll.
Oh, appreciate it, bro.
Viewers.
Yeah, no worries.
Yeah, thank you, man. All right, let's see. We got 6 other people. Zulu, take a look at those people. The only one I know, well, actually I know 2. I know Introduction of Coffee. I'm almost certain he's not opposition. And Radcap, that's my friend. He's probably opposition.
So I go into manage guests. I find it.
Yeah.
Okay, Marxist Galt. I'm so confused.
Yeah, let's hear from Marxist Galt.
He's a
my
fun
cats
troll.
are going crazy.
He's a fun troll. He's a libertarian, but he's he argues Marxism better than Marxists do. So he really fucks with them. It's fun.
I think I did the invite properly.
No, so you should do you see people who are requesting already?
Yeah. 4 guest requests. He might have left or some shit.
Oh, okay. If you just hit accept, it should bring them up. But all right, go ahead and take another shot.
Lee Up. Do we know Lee Up?
No. The only one requesting right now that I know is
we'll go for
Radko.
Lee up then.
Hey, what's up? Okay, I got let up. Let's go. Yeah, I guess I would probably defend the second claim here, or not defend it, but argue against it. But I did have a quick question. Like, what do you guys views on the socialist calculation debate? What do you guys think won the debate?
I think the socialists won that one.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I figure that's consensus. Maybe, I don't know. So I'm assuming you guys are big Mises and Hayek defenders in here.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
Sir.
what do you guys have opinions on Oscar Lange's model of socialism? Are you guys familiar with that one or no?
I'm not familiar.
It was featured in the debate. It's basically the idea that you would use markets to basically influence central planning. It's a really interesting model, developed by both Oscar Lange and Abel Lerner, who I don't know a ton about him, but he studied a lot with John Maynard Keynes. But yeah, he's an interesting guy. But
So
sorry, go ahead.
Did you want to go into that?
Well, sure. Yeah, I don't know if you had anything to comment. I'd be happy to hear.
I mean, yeah, because I'm interested in what way the markets are influencing it. Because I know that the Soviet Union, they did try for a while to like copy prices from outside the Soviet Union. Is it that type of deal?
No, it's more so. I want to say I don't know a ton about it. Like, this is something I read about a couple months ago, and I don't have it much from memory. But I think Oscar Lange he's basically arguing that you could use markets to almost artificially set prices. Or sorry, no. You would be using like the Central Planning Committee would be artificially setting prices, and you basically do it trial and error until you reach Pareto efficiency and equilibrium, and you would basically use markets to. Yeah, go ahead.
So this trial and error process, I'm sorry for cutting off, but I just want to get there into the nitty gritty. This trial and error process, like for a capitalist to do that, he could do trial and error, where he's like, oh, we're going to raise the price of this car. Oops, we're making a loss. We can lower the price of the car. Oh, we're making a profit now. So I can see how a capitalist could do that. But what does it look like for the central planners to be arbitrarily doing this when they're setting all of the prices? Like, what does the price actually entail then?
Well, I suppose,
how do you do the trial and error?
I think it actually is more so decentralized planning. That's my mistake because I described it wrong. I'm not really sure. I don't know a ton about it. I just more so came up to know or to see if you guys had any comment on it. Obviously, I have more to say beyond that. But yeah, it's interesting. I think one of the more interesting products of the economic calculation debate.
Yeah, I do. I think he's the guy who said that there would be like a gold statue of Mises in the Central Planning Bureau one day. I think.
Is that what he said? I could totally see him saying that.
Because he thought that it was like, oh my God, Mises is pointing out a great problem and we got to solve this.
There was actually someone who said, I can't remember. There were two people who argued that Mises kind of, or I think there are people who are arguing that what Mises was saying about the movement the switch from capitalism to socialism proved that socialism was effective in a way better than what Oscar Lange could come up with, which I thought was kind of interesting. It was kind of funny, and and if I recall correctly, it's Mises that was calling Hayek a socialist, right?
Yeah, you're all a bunch of socialists. He said that to the I can't remember the name of the society, but it was some get together of supposedly free market economists, and they're all talking about, oh, the government does this, and he's like, oh, you're all a bunch of socialists, and storms out.
Yeah, I think it's pretty funny. All right, so then what would you defend? Like, do you defend social democracy or no?
Well, I'm an anarcho-capitalist.
Okay, that's pretty interesting. I mean, how would you defend that?
Okay, so I mean, anarcho-capitalism, it's basically just a legal theory saying that it's illicit to initiate conflict against anybody. That is the non-aggression principle. So a conflict is mutually exclusive actions.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't really have anything to even say to that. Not necessarily rebuttal. I'm not.
Yeah, no, you don't have to get in because that'll be like a whole thing.
Oh yeah, right.
But did you have anything you wanted to because I think I cut you off and started.
Oh no, that's fine. I'm trying to. I'm trying to remember what I was going to say. I was probably going to say some bullshit about the socialist calculation debate. I don't know. I would argue that it's perfectly moral, socialism, more so than communism. I think that communism as a whole does not work. And I believe that there are a lot of communists who say that, under socialism, you still have class struggle. And my personal opinion is that you kind of need a little bit of class struggle. Don't get me wrong. I think class struggle is greatly exacerbated by capitalism, but you do almost need a little bit inherently because, I don't know, I think that's just how society works. Maybe that's the idealist side of me.
Sorry, I was getting a bunch of little glimblies on my screen there.
Yeah, no worries.
So what about socialism do you think is good?
Oh, well, I think that I think it's good to have firms democratically run if you can, because it basically makes it so that if you're a worker, you have to continue to exploit yourself. You have to vote to continually exploit yourself, versus otherwise you don't really have much of a say in how you're treated at work.
What does exploitation in this context mean?
I guess exploitation is to be paid a lot less than you are worth, or basically to have value extracted from you with little kind of what do you call it? Little Jesus Christ, I'm missing the word here. Little compensation. There you go.
Okay, so I'm interested in this value extraction point. It's not a point I agree with. So this is the example I gave to a guy earlier. I think you might be able to deal with it better.
Right.
You seem like a smart guy. So it's a guy. I'm going up to a hot dog vendor. He's
Sure.
selling hot dogs for $5, right?
Yeah.
I want that hot dog more than I want $5. And this guy, obviously, he wants $5 more than he wants his hot dogs.
Right. Yeah.
So if we do this exchange, this is a voluntary exchange, right? I'm not having a gun held to my head. If we do this exchange, then I profit because I get something I like better. I value more.
Sure.
He
Yeah.
profits because he gets something he likes better. He values more. So in any voluntary exchange, this is kind of the general principle here. Whenever you have a voluntary exchange, you have mutual profit. Would you
Yeah.
agree with that?
I did. So I did hear you arguing that earlier, and I would say again, it really depends how you want to define voluntary. I would say, okay, for example, in terms of both people profit, it also almost depends on how you define profit as well. I mean, if you trade a Lamborghini for a Fiat, do both sides really profit there? It depends on how you're going to want to define that, even if it is voluntary.
Well, if it's voluntary, then necessarily they must value the thing they're getting more than the thing they're giving up, right?
It really depends on how you define value. I mean, if you refer to how much someone
what do you think
personally
value means? I value this more than that thing. Surely that's just the most base level inductive understanding of what a value is. That you just
if it comes down
directly
to
introspect. I prefer this coffee mug over that coffee mug.
If it comes down to personal preference, then yeah, sure, I would agree that statement is correct. But yeah,
sure, but then the way we get to then from here into how there isn't really exploitation is because both the worker and the capitalist, they both profit, right? The worker couldn't do the things he's trying to do without the capitalist there, and the capitalist couldn't do the things he's trying to do without the worker there. They're both benefiting from this because the worker, he doesn't have any capital.
Sure,
that's why he's a worker. He doesn't want to take on all the risk. He wants somebody else to take on the risk. He wants a steady paycheck. The worker gets enormous benefits. And Ben earlier was even talking about how he doesn't want to work in a co-op.
Yeah, I have two kind of responses to that that I've conveniently both forgotten here. Yeah. So one is that as the guy who was up here earlier was saying, I wouldn't say that work is always voluntary. Even if you do agree to it, oftentimes it's because you face the great consequence if you do not go to work. For example,
I think the way to reframe that is you're getting great benefits from this work. If you're destitute and somebody's like, hey, you know what, work in my restaurant and you can get off the streets, you can get off that crack rock, you can make a life for yourself. I think that's an enormous benefit. Like that, he isn't exploiting that person. He's benefiting that person.
It depends
This,
on
like,
how you
restaurant
want
owner or
to.
whatever.
It depends on how you want to argue that. Well, if you believe in, which I'm sure you don't believe in, but the labor theory of value, then that automatically makes it so that the profit motive is inherently exploitative. But I did have a question. Christ, which I've now forgotten as well.
I've got a question
Back in
for
my
you,
brain
though.
here.
I'm
Sure, yeah.
curious. What do you kind of dismiss this idea of value as a subjective preference thing? So what do you think value is then? What even is value? You say labor theory of value. Okay, labor theory of what? What is value?
I guess I would agree with labor theory of value. I would say, and I want to say what it's defined as, like the social. Christ, I can't remember the name, but it's basically saying that the value of things hinges on how much labor is required to produce that thing on average.
Okay.
And I would say that's more or less
So-
correct. And obviously, there are lots of defenders of the subjective theory of value, which
So
to each
value
their own.
is just how much labor is in something.
How much labor is involved in the production of that thing. Yeah.
Okay. I mean, well, at that point, why does the value even matter? Okay, I took value from somebody by hiring them to work. Why does that even matter?
Yeah. Well, if you argue that exploitation is not paying someone truly their whole value, then yeah,
Yeah,
the
but why
argument
should
becomes, why should you?
Yeah.
Well, I think that's the most moral thing to do.
Marx didn't think that. Marx didn't give a shit about morality when it came to this. Like,
Yeah.
this-
Well, I didn't say I was a Marxist, so I mean,
well, if you believe in the labor theory of value, you just might be.
well, that's
or maybe
that's not all he said. Like you can believe in the labor theory of value and not be a Marxist.
Well, why is that?
Alec
Like,
Nova,
where's-
for example. I don't know if you're familiar with Alec Nova, but he's a non-Marxist socialist thinker.
I
He
actually
believes in
am.
the
I
labor-
actually.
Oh, okay. Are you a Nova fan over here?
Alec Nove books. Wait, I got one right here. I've got socialism, economics, and development, and I've got two others.
You have the one about the history of economic or the economic history of the USSR.
Yeah, I do have that one.
Oh, sweet, dude! It's not available. They're not available, or Alec Nova's books aren't available in any library near me. There's like one college library that I think I'm gonna go to this weekend because I want to read Economics of Feasible Socialism. But,
yeah, I got it right here.
oh, sweet, yeah.
All right.
I like Nova. I'm a fan of him.
Like to move on. But
Oh, wait. With the guitar though, I do have to ask, what's your favorite genre to play? The answer better be jazz.
I love playing jazz, but I don't know that I actually have like a favorite in particular.
Yeah, what were you playing just now?
Just improvising.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
Not
Pentatonic scale.
particularly. No, what the kind of fucking insult, man. All right, thank you for coming up, man.
Yeah, man. Take care.
Yeah. All right, my friend Radcop has
I will
requested
say
a few
I
times.
very much I like that line of inquiry from Ben, where it's like, okay, well, if that's what value means, like, why should somebody be paid their value? Like, what? Who cares?
But isn't it sort of? I mean, absent any sort of economy or civilization, isn't someone like that? It seems like their real conflict is with nature, because you're really, I mean, without a job or an employer or a co-op or anything, you still need to act to survive.
Yeah.
So, I mean, inherently, their conflict is really in the nature of you have to act to survive or you'll die. It's really
It's entropy. Like,
Maybe maybe they think they could photosynthesize if like they will it hard enough. I don't know.
This is one thing I love from Per Bieland, where he's always like, you know what, poverty is just the state of nature. Whenever anyone of these socialists comes up, it's like, poverty is the state of nature. How do you get out of poverty is the question. Not what
I think
causes
Rothbard said something like that
what causes
too.
wealth.
What's really interesting is, like I said, Marx did not moralize this. For Marx, it was more so you had this, what he called exploitation, and it necessarily led to certain outcomes. And those outcomes, would be perhaps negative for the workers. Those outcomes would lead to certain feelings about the system, feelings about the capitalist, and to various things in the economy, like the tendency for the rate of profit to fall and things like that. And then the outcomes caused by it would inevitably lead to a socialist society.
Mm.
But Marx was not, again, he wasn't moralizing it. A lot of socialists today, they moralize it. They love the term exploitation because it's a word that just has so many moral implications, right? Oh, I'm exploiting somebody. That sounds really bad. It sounds really terrible. Oh, you exploited somebody? But when they say you exploited somebody, they literally mean you hired them. You gave them a job. This is why I said that in the debate I did the other day in my Discord server. The socialist says, well, it's bad because they're exploiting people. And so I say, and by exploiting them, you mean giving them a job. He's like, yes. As soon as you say that, like everybody listening, like it clocks to them. They're like, wait, that's kind of dumb, isn't it? It's really kind of dumb. And I also, that the other, was it on a live? Yeah, it was on a live the other day where somebody was talking about democratizing the workplace. Like, you can just show how ridiculous this is. Like, I'm like, okay, so your idea is you get all the workers who don't have expertise in management, who don't have expertise in capital allocation and investments. You kill the people who do have the expertise or lock them away or something. And then you go, all right, everybody who doesn't have the expertise, we're all going to get together in these super long meetings, which is what they do, by the way, in actual worker co-ops. I've read about this, and you can read stuff that former worker co-op workers have written. They hate it, right? You have these big, long meetings. They're like, all right, what are we going to do? Oh, investments, blah, 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 blah. It's such a hassle, right? And then they're like, all right, what's your opinions on whether or not we invest this money into raising your wages or invest this money into building a new factory where we can hire more workers and become more productive? And then they'll be like, oh, raise our wages, of course, because that's all I fucking care about, because I'm a fucking worker. That's literally all I care about. I'm high tie preference, right? And then what you find is that these worker co-ops don't actually grow. They don't actually expand. Usually a big worker co-op is a business that became a worker co-op, and then it just stays stagnant forever, right?
Yeah.
Like, they don't expand. They don't create new jobs. Like that guy earlier was talking about Yugoslavia. Yeah, Yugoslavia was a mess because they literally couldn't make new jobs. There were Yugoslavians, whatever you call them, Yugoslavs, whatever, out in the street protesting and striking because they wanted to have unions instead of being forced to participate in the management of their firms. They fucking hated that. And of course I would hate that. I don't want to make the big decisions at the place I work. Why the fuck would I want that? Why would I want that stress and that extra work? Like, that's all you have to point out to these people. And the average person, like, they use a lot of emotional language to kind of convince the average person, you support democracy politically. Why don't you support democracy in the workplace? Like, obviously that doesn't follow. If someone supports democracy in any given instance, doesn't mean they support democracy everywhere. Like, do I support democracy when it comes to having sex with me? Do I want 50 black men to vote yes, we want to have sex with you, and I vote no? Oh, you're outvoted. Like, hello? Let's not be silly here.
Most people just want to go home after work. They don't want to have a meeting.
And the other thing about, like, this Marxist, like, because Marx really did believe that socialism or communism was inevitable, which it seems like a lot of communists don't understand, right? Because you'll say, like, well, if it truly is inevitable, I think this came up in our debate with the Turn Leftist podcast I had with Ben here. If it truly is inevitable, why bother doing any of the praxis? Why do you bother, like, even teaching any of this stuff? It's gonna happen no matter what, because you think there's a literal logical contradiction in capitalism, so it's necessarily leads to the synthesis of fucking communism, where then suddenly it stops because logic breaks down or whatever. Like, if that's the case, why bother? Why are you bothering so much? Like,
that's true. You wouldn't even need a revolution at that point. Why bother? It's just inevitable.
When I ask them this, they usually say, well, I can help it happen faster. And then I go, you can do that? You can do that? Really? Like, is this great man theory now? Like, bro, you specifically, you can make socialism happen quick. Okay, buddy. You don't even have a job. What are you talking about?
That's the most socialist thing you can do, is be a NEET. But I do think it's worth pointing out it's just not true that, especially near the end of his life, Marx thought it was inevitable. I mean, the opening line of the manifesto.
Well, that's a complete contradiction to all of his, like, philosophy then. They didn't think that was inevitable anymore.
Well, I don't think that's true.
Like, what's the class struggle then? If class struggle isn't what thesis and antithesis going at it, making contradiction leading to the synthesis, what is class struggle?
That's not Hegel. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I was gonna do that. It's just that's not how Hegel or Marx understands his method.
Well, fucking dialectics, whatever you want to call it.
Sure. I mean, even in, again, the opening line to the manifesto, he specifies, or the common ruin of contending classes, right? So it's just not true to say that and this isn't even like the more mature Marx, right? So it's just straightforwardly untrue to say that Marx thought that it was sort of.
Well, he grew up and he wanted to like fucking make a movement or whatever. Big whoop.
Well, the big whoop is
I'm talking about the essence of his philosophy.
How was it a movement when he had no motion?
Well, I think he had some motion, but I just to be clear, we agree you said something false when you said that Marx thinks that it's inevitable, right?
Well, I mean, he definitely did at some point. Like that's
sure,
that's
in his
the
more mature
implication of the philosophy.
and in the relevant. Well, I don't think that's the implication of the philosophy, right? Given that at most of the most of the times when he's developing his philosophical views, he specifies
I know you got like
that
some weird idiosyncratic understanding of Hegel, or whatever. But okay, what is the dialectic process then?
What is the dialectic process?
Yeah, and then we can move on to like what dialectical materialism would therefore mean.
Real quick,
therefore what
Marx.
What would be the implication of Marxism?
Real quick, I'm going to leave in a second here, but I have a quick comment. I've heard differing opinions on this. Like I saw this one big German Marxist guy on here the other day. He made some video where he was like, "Oh no, it's actually not inevitable. We need to stop saying that." But it is the case that the common Marxist does think it's inevitable. So our critique would still stand in that sense, right? It's the same thing where the average Marxist moralizes exploitation, whereas Marx didn't really do that. Like the average Marxist, or at least a large chunk of Marxists, are going to say it's inevitable, and our critique would still stand, saying, then why are you advocating for it?
Sure. So I agree that there's some sort of confused baby leftists who say these sorts of things. But I think that it's just straightforwardly false to say that Marx thought that it was inevitable, right? I think that, like, again, the opening line to the manifesto specifies that there is another possibility, right? Which is common ruin of contending classes, right?
That's what's going to happen. Let's go, baby.
Total unlimited death, unleash unlimited genocide on the first world. That's right. But yeah, I agree, of course, that there are these sort of silly baby leftists, but I think it's sort of silly to say these sorts of things about Marx when he, in his most famous work, in the opening line, explicitly says that's not the case. But you know, okay. In terms of,
but also part of the program is to lie about what you believe in. That's part of the program with Marxism, with communists. They've got to lie about what they believe in. Part of the program. They believe in contradictions.
Well, it depends on how you understand contradiction, right? Like I think there's
okay. So what is the dialectic process then?
My dogs are freaking out. I will be back in like genuinely 15 seconds. Sorry, I don't know if you could hear them.
Okay.
He's running away.
That's okay. Hegel fans had a shot. Radcap, did you want to chat? Dude, we got 103 viewers right now. This is actually lit. What the hell is going on?
He's the thesis. His dogs are the antithesis, and then
synthesis is me running away. Yeah. But yeah. So there's different ways that dialectics is understood, but like the way that I think is the most defensible is it's sort of a process in which a system of commitments reveals its own inadequacies and is rationally sort of reconstructed into a more adequate one. Right. So this is the process.
I want to stop you there. Mm-hmm. Inadequacy. What does that mean? Does that mean contradiction?
No, inadequacy.
That's what Hegel says. Contradiction
depends on what you mean by contradiction, right? There's debate among Hegel scholars. But,
I think we all know what contradiction means.
Well, I don't. There's some. I don't think that everybody agrees.
It's crazy that that throughout all of the history of philosophy, every philosopher knows what contradiction means.
That's just not true.
The instant you get to Hegel, suddenly it's like, well, there's debate over what he meant by contradiction. Like, come on, man.
Well, I mean, it's just not true to say that there is sort of a, like, for example, there's debate about whether or not contradictions are truths about. Yeah, there's debate about whether contradictions are.
People on the street. I want you to do this experiment. Go to 100 people on the street. Say, what does a contradiction mean? And they're not going to be like, well, it depends on what you mean by contradict. Maybe they're going to just give you straight answers.
This is a different claim,
just give me
right?
a fucking straight answer.
But this is a different claim, though, right? The claim was that there was not
Give me a straight answer on
debate.
what contradiction means.
Well, let's just calm down. So the claim initially
Could you go on like Wikipedia right now and look up the law of non-contradiction, for instance? And
I understand what a contradiction is. What I'm trying to explain to you is that there
what is
debate.
a contradiction?
A contradiction is a proposition and its negation. The conjunction
Yes,
of the two.
okay.
In most people, in most senses, but there's disagreement about
in
whether
Hegel,
or not.
in dialectics, a contradiction arises between a proposition and its negation, and it leads to a synthesis. A true contradiction. Well, how am I supposed to take that?
How are you supposed to take that, or how do I take it?
How am I supposed to take that if I'm being told that there are true contradictions?
I think you're supposed to sort of understand the conceptual role it plays in Hegel's argument, and understand that I think it's at least reasonable to not read him as
really.
Which part of it did you not understand? Which part of it did you not understand?
Exactly what he's saying here. That I'm supposed to endorse contradiction.
I think that
you
they're
can
very
try and cover up
credible
with as
views.
much layers of fucking gold as you want. That's the fundamental point here.
Well, you've just failed to engage
I'm
with what
supposed to
was
be
said,
endorsing
right?
the contradiction here.
Like I just want to move back. You agree, of course, that there are different accounts of what contradictions are in analytic philosophy, right? Like there are people who both believe in contradictions but also don't think propositions exist, right?
Ugh. Jesus Christ. What
Truth nuke.
I didn't know that there were people who didn't think propositions exist. Like, you're enlightening me at just how corrupt modern philosophy is. You're enlightening me.
But wait, I just want to be clear. We agree then that when you said earlier that everyone agrees on what a contradiction is, that was false, right?
Every rational person.
You can you can edit the claim.
Sure.
Right? You can edit the claim.
People quibble over every little fucking detail. But in the broad sense,
I don't think that if you went up to most people,
I think they
use the
know
word
what they're
proposition.
doing.
I don't think most people know what a
think they're
proposition
that retarded. I think they know what they're doing.
Probably word of advice. TikTok's always out about some of those gamer words, but like I just want to be clear.
Shit, did I say a gamer word there? Whoops.
The R slur. I don't know. It's inconsistent on whether it'll, but that's sort of neither here nor there. But
Eduardo was telling me before the start, like, hey, you gotta start with that. This is my language.
It's just super inconsistent.
My dialect.
That's too much of a word that I use all the time. I just say regarded, and it works out.
Do they let you? I feel like I've seen people get banned for that because it's too close. But
Not regarded. No, I haven't yet.
You get away with it. That's good.
That's your dialectic.
Violation warning: your live content is flagged for hate speech and hateful behaviors.
Yeah.
Whoops.
Probably.
But yeah, I mean, I can explain. So the sort of understanding of dialectics I gave earlier.
Just drop him and bring him back up real quick.
Oh yeah, sure.
Eduardo, you're muted, by the way, boss.
Yeah, he was pooping. He didn't want us to hear it.
Sorry, Zula, I had to bring you back up like I said earlier.
Yeah, sorry. I didn't even realize I said it.
so natural. Yeah.
It's just part of my it's being racist against Scottish people.
It's the same with me. Like the other day, Eduardo's like, "Bro, you just said the N word like 4 times." It's just like it's like
you can't help yourself.
I was suggesting to Eduardo because he was saying apparently black people don't get flagged for it, so I should wear blackface and then it becomes less racist.
I'm sure TikTok moderation would love you in blackface. Yeah. In terms of the understanding of dialectics I gave earlier, do you think that sort of entails commitment to a contradiction, or?
Well, yeah, because I know the games you people play, where you hide under 1 million layers of philosophies. I know the games you people play.
Do you think that answers the question I just asked?
Well, I did.
What was my question?
If your understanding of dialectics, if that entails a contradiction.
Right. Do you think you answered that question?
Yes.
Because generally the answer to that sort of question would come in the form of a yes or a no. Did you give a yes or a no?
I said yes. Like,
okay.
I was going to say again.
So
I want you to know that.
The process by which a system of commitments reveals its own inadequacies and is rationally reconstructed into a more adequate one, do you think that believing such a process exists entails commitment to believing in contradictions in the sense of proposition and its negation conjoined?
Yeah.
Okay. You think you can derive a contradiction from that?
But that's what it means. That's what dialectics means.
Well, I just gave you
proposition and negation.
I just gave you the understanding I'm operating under, and the question was whether on that understanding a contradiction is entailed.
And again, I know the games you people play.
If you want to just sort of have this meta convo soy rage, you can do that. But I'm interested to hear if you have arguments for your
then
views.
I'll do it.
Okay. Are you interested in giving arguments for your views, or are you interested in having a sort of?
I gave the argument. I went on a
You haven't
whole
given a single
rampage
argument
against your entire method of doing
Wait, sorry.
philosophy.
Do you think you've given a single valid argument so far?
So I think we
Do you
all
think
know
you've given
where
a
I
single
stand.
valid argument? To be clear, you've given 0 valid arguments. You've given no arguments. But
that's so.
Yeah.
Oh no. I'm scared.
This is such a pathetic dodge. Just engage. Just engage with the point.
Well, we already had you up. If you wanna.
Yeah, no. I mean, I'd be happy to talk with Zulu later, but I just don't understand why you're sort of running from this obviously false claim you made, which is that
I'm not. You
Okay.
said, well,
Sorry,
you're going to
can
give
you
me
defend-
a yes or a no, and the first word I said was yes. In my response to you, the first word I said was yes, and then you're just like, well, you didn't really answer there because typically somebody would say a yes or a no.
maybe
the first word I said
maybe that's
was
my
yes.
bad. Maybe that's my bad, right? But it's sort of
yes.
sometimes
it
it
is
clips
your
you.
bad. Yes,
Sometimes
there's
it
another
clips
one
you when
for
you start talking, but I apologize. If we can move away from the meta conversation, soy rage, and if you could give an argument for the view that you've given, that'd be interesting. But again, if you just want to have this sort of meta conversation tantrum, run away from the substance,
I gave the argument.
Wait, what was the argument? What was premise 1?
Again, I can't go back into it because apparently I get banned when I get on a rampage. I guess clip it and watch it.
Do you think
That's
you
what I have to say
gave
to
like a
Clip it and
valid
watch it.
argument?
Yeah, I do.
Okay. What was the inference rule?
Your mama.
Right. Good one. Like, I
don't think I have to engage honestly with you people.
I
who
agree. You
believe in
don't think you have to
contradictions.
engage honestly because you can't engage because you're philosophically illiterate.
You people
Because you're
believe
sort
in
of not able to
contradictions.
recognize
That's
arguments.
the
You're not able to
bottom line.
reason structurally.
Underscore
You're able
it
to have
3
these sort of
times.
soy
You
rage.
believe in contradictions. I don't care what philosophies you dress it up in.
I don't believe. I
that
believe there are no
contradictions
true
are true.
contradictions. I don't
You
believe there are true contradictions. I'm not a dialetheist.
Okay, then reject Hegel. Reject Hegel then.
I reject the readings of Hegel on which he's a dialetheist.
Why are those those readings? Why do those readings exist?
That's that's like a sort of a sociological question
could
about how
there be
Hegel
a
was
reading of
understood.
Ayn Rand where you go, yeah, she believes in contradictions? Could there be that reading?
Probably, it's unlikely there would be such a reading.
Okay, can you name like a good philosopher? Somebody we would consider a good philosopher, where you could read them as saying, yeah, contradictions are good. Like Aristotle. Could you read Aristotle and go, yeah, he believes that there are true contradictions? Like, why is it only
to be
when
clear,
you
your
get up to
argument is that
Hegel,
there are
suddenly
readings of Hegel you
it's
don't
like,
like?
whoa, there are these readings all over the place. Like, a lot of people read Hegel as saying that there are true contradictions. Why does that happen? What do you think that?
Because the notion of contradiction sort of didn't get super specified until later, after Hegel's sort of time.
So
right?
people back in like ancient Greece who were reading Aristotle, they just didn't know what he was talking about when he said contradiction.
No,
Or whatever
that's
the
not what I
fucking
said.
Greek
What I
word
said was that the notion of contradiction didn't get really solidified. So there was these different notions of contradiction, right? There are people who believed in contradictions.
Back in ancient Greece, right? They knew what it meant.
Yeah, that's consistent with what I just said.
Right. And then suddenly when it gets up to Hegel, it's like, whoa, suddenly we're not really clear on whether he's endorsing contradiction or not. It becomes really
Wait,
unclear.
if your argument is just
Like, there's
Hegel's
something
unclear,
there,
I
right?
agree with that.
There's a
Nobody
there
disagrees Hegel's unclear.
And
Nobody disagrees with that.
my reasoning for this is that Hegel is being deliberately obtuse. He's speaking in philosophies, which is exactly what you're doing right now. That
What
is
have I
my
said that
reason.
you don't understand?
That's my reason why I'm not just like taking your little, I want to lead you down this little path, and we're gonna.
Sorry, by
deconstruct
leading you down
all
this little
language
path,
here.
do you mean asking
That's
for
the
sound
reason why I'm
arguments?
not doing
Is that what you're talking about?
That's the reason why I'm not doing it, because I know part of your political program is to not be honest.
This
You
is just meta
deliberately are
convo.
not
You're just
honest.
running from the substance.
I
And I
know
understand
you
why
do
you're
not
running
want
from
to
the
be
substance,
honest.
because everyone understands that if you engaged on the substance, you would get blown the fuck out.
That's so.
So I'll ask the question once again, can you give an
Challenge me
argument?
to debate or get the fuck out.
I would love to debate you.
Okay, challenge me to debate. I've got a page on my website where you can challenge me to debate. Give me a proposition, and I'll debate you on that proposition.
Okay, sounds good. If you don't want to defend any of your views right now, that's fine. But I just want to be clear. like you've just been entirely unable to defend the idea that dialectics, as I presented it, entails.
Well, you didn't even
commitment to
understand
a
that I gave you a
contradiction.
yes or no answer. I gave you a
because you
yes to your
clipped
yes or
out.
no question, and you didn't even catch that. Because you're too
Yeah,
caught up in your own little
because you
fucking
clipped out at the beginning of
masturbation.
your sentence.
You're too caught up in your masturbation. I gave you a yes.
You're the one
Yes
who's pivoting to the
was the first word I
metaconvo.
said.
You're the one who's masturbating right now. You're the one who's running away from the substantive convo to have this temper tantrum. That's you, brother.
Because I know exactly
Because
what
you
you're
can't
fucking
engage.
doing.
Because you're not
I know what you're
capable of
doing.
engaging with reason. You are not reason
I know
receptive.
what you're
You
doing.
are cattle. You
Your
are an
words
animal.
aren't actually like communicating any point. Right? They're
Wait, sorry,
trying
did you
to
not understand what I've
paint
said so
They're
far?
trying to paint a glaze over
Why
the
are you
audience.
obsessed
I
with
know
not
exactly
engaging
what
on
you're
the
doing.
substance? You're running
I know
away.
what you're doing.
This is
You're trying to
metaspurging.
glaze over it and give out.
I don't care about your
fluffy
your
bullshit.
interpretation of
I
the
know what
conversation.
you're
What I
doing.
care about is whether or
I
not you
know
have
how
an
you people
argument for your
operate.
views. Do you have an argument for your views? Yes or no?
I know how you people operate.
I don't think you do, right? How I operate is I try to give reasons for the things I believe. I try to engage with valid arguments given by my people who disagree with me. That's how I try to engage. Do you think you could maybe try to engage in a similar way?
And you don't do those things.
I think
right.
I
And
think
you don't do those things.
And I don't do those
You need a
things.
thesis and an antithesis. What's the synthesis?
That's not. This is a very funny way to.
Didn't you reject that reading of Hegel earlier?
Yeah, I do. I mean, to be clear, every serious scholar agrees that that's not Hegel's method. That's this weird sort of post-Hegelian invention, which is like this is such a level one mistake. This is a mistake exclusively made by these sort of drooling morons who are sub-logicians, right? Who are not able to engage with reason.
Why do you think? So, okay, hold on. Do you think there are zero prominent philosophers who are polylogists?
It depends on what's meant by polylogist, but I agree there are a lot. If it's logical,
for instance, having a logic
where
contradictions are true.
Yeah, but that's not what I was talking about.
It's crazy to suggest that of Hegel.
No, what I was talking about was the specific sort of three-part, synthesis, antithesis, synthesis, or thesis, antithesis, synthesis method. That's what I'm saying is the level one mistake that gets made fun of constantly because it's a mistake exclusively made by people whose understanding of Hegel comes from memes.
Yeah, again, all your method is just dress it up as much as possible.
You're the one, again, this is crazy to say, given that you're the one who's entirely unwilling to engage in the substantive dispute and is having this sort of meta-convo temper tantrum. Because I asked you this simple question, which was on my understanding of dialectics, does that entail commitment to dialetheism, right? And you've said yes, but you've been entirely unable to substantiate that point because you don't know what these words mean, because you're unable to reason.
Okay.
All right,
Nice.
we're stuck in meta. Let's move on.
Okay. Yeah, I'd love to chat at some point, Zulu. Maybe hopefully when we do, you can give arguments for your views instead of having these sort of mental breakdowns. But
again,
also, wait, sorry. Do you think you gave an argument?
No,
Sure,
we're not going to get
no
back into it.
more meta. Also,
you're right back into it, bro.
All right.
Oh, God. I don't even... All right.
I love all of you except this Zulu moron. Anyway, have a good one.
Zulu's a really cool guy, man.
You don't believe that. Come on. Be real.
I do. He's a friend of mine.
I do think. All right. I do think it's interesting. This idea of the communists being in permanent contradiction with themselves. Because when he mentioned that thing about the Communist Manifesto earlier, I was like, well, I've read the Communist Manifesto like 3 times, and I explicitly remember Marx saying that this stuff is inevitable in the Communist Manifesto. And he's like, well, right at the beginning of the Communist Manifesto, he says it's not inevitable. It's like, okay, sure. But then when you read it further on, I actually have it right here. I pulled it up. I pulled up the PDF because I was like, yeah, I know I'm not tripping. What the bourgeoisie therefore produce above all are its own gravediggers. Its fall and the victory of the proletariat are equally inevitable. Oh shit. What? Inevitable. Even the person who writes the introduction to this particular one talks about, oh, Marx is saying this is inevitable. So they have that interpretation, whoever this guy is, I don't really care. And then over here, the inevitable ruin, quoting Marx, the inevitable ruin of the petty bourgeois and peasant and the misery of the proletariat.
he's talking about stuff being inevitable. So like, okay, he believed it's inevitable, but he also didn't believe it's inevitable. Yeah, it's a contradiction. Like,
It didn't make any sense because like once you're done reading it, it's like, okay, he had this preconceived notion he was going out to prove would become reality. To sort of say otherwise is kind of bizarre.
So, guys, I'd like to end here soon. I got a couple of things I got to do. Radcap, I think you wanted to talk. Zulu, you have a moment to chat still, or what's your timeline looking like?
Sure. If you want to end it soon, that's fine. This doesn't have to be super long. I just want to know if
I'm still good to go.
Okay, cool. But after this conversation, you guys got to wrap it up. We could wrap it up on a high note with over 100 viewers.
Sure. So as far as your E Contrario goes, are you like willing to defend that?
Not right now because I can't type. So I can't.
So you're
track the flow.
You're not willing to have a debate on your like magnum opus work.
You can talk about it on stream with me if you want, but I have to be able to type so I can track the flow.
Yeah, sure. Okay. If you're unwilling to debate that, that's really all I wanted to talk about. I'll let the favorite dude back up on this panel though. What's up, Charsky?
What's good? Sorry, yeah. I mean, Ben, are you familiar with the concept of a conditional? Like, you know what a conditional is?
Yeah, I know what a conditional is.
Okay. So
it's inevitable as long as you meet the proper condition. Yeah, okay.
Right.
That's totally what inevitable means.
Wait, sorry. Do you agree that so for example, if I say it's inevitable,
why are we getting back into this damn topic again?
Wait, sorry. When I say that it's inevitable if you lift weights that you'll gain muscle, obviously that's not true. But suppose it was, right? Do you agree that would be consistent with it not being inevitable that you will gain muscle?
Well, this is not what's being said here. So
W dodge. Also,
all right.
Yeah, I
read it out. I read it out. It's quite clear. So
okay, we can. I feel bad taking over too much time, but I'd be happy to chat about this later. Although it seems like recently, every time you've been live, every time I hop in the requests, you suddenly have to leave. But I'm sure that's a coincidence. But
Dude, it's a constant conjunction. Dude, it's just a constant conjunction, bro.
That's right.
Bro, you're like a pudgy little 8-year-old. Like nobody's scared of you.
I'm taller than you. I'm stronger than you. I'm faster than you. I'm smarter than you. I outshoot you. It 100% is.
Turn your camera on.
How do I?
Turn your camera on.
Give us a full body turnaround.
Bro. Let's frame on you.
Bro. That's crazy.
God, no. That's good. How are we doing?
Morgan. That's actually first time I've seen your face, I think, in the last year.
Yeah, it's been a minute.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But can you hold on your social security card to the camera?
Oh, nice try. Unfortunately, the only thing in my background right now is a photo of Stafford Beer, the goated cybernetist. But, yeah, I'll dip. Have a good one.
Dude, you look like when you get IVs, you have them put it up your ass.
All right, bro.
Immediately, Ben sees my face and immediately starts thinking about my anus. What is this guy's problem? What is this guy doing?
There's nothing wrong with him. All right.
No,
so you're Hegel fan.
So listen. I was already thinking about it. First of all, I didn't have to see the face.
All right, you guys want to wrap up with just a little quick summary discussion, real quick?
Sure.
All right. I said we're gonna wrap up with a quick summary discussion.
The gay guy now. Where are you gay?
Yeah.
Wait, which one's the gay guy?
Tumblr. It's the guy who asks, "Why are you gay?" For all the people watching, I don't know how many of you guys are libertarians. Suspect more than usual. Follow LiquidZulu. This is his first time doing a live, and I'd like for him to get up here more often.
10,000 followers apparently for fucking being able to get a stream key. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, if you guys came in from any of the numerous shares in the Discord and stuff, follow everybody up on the panel and follow Zoo.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. But yeah, if we could get him on here more often and grow his audience, that'd be super fucking cool. You could find more debate opponents. Apparently, day one, he's already finding them. He's doing those fucking.
Dude, it's so funny reading the comments. All the socialists who are too scared to debate in the comments, like, Like, Ben has no confidence. Ben has no confidence. You guys are too scared to debate me. And you're gay. You take it up the butt.
All right,
yes, I am a coal miner. I am a
If you
coal
guys
miner.
are,
You're about to get.
coal
Eduardo's
miner.
about to get his last strike
Coal
from that. I
mine.
hope you're aware.
if you guys are ever on to and you're looking for debate and I have an open panel, you're welcome to come in and you guys could just debate. I literally made secondary purpose of my account is to help other libertarians and ANCAPs grow their accounts. So
nice.
For sure. Just follow you, man.
Tumblr, are you on like other platforms, by the way? I haven't heard of you before.
just X. TikTok's a target rich environment, as you can see. So it's it's a good place to convert people.
Are you Tumblr Dabs on or Tumblr AF?
Yeah, that's me.
I embarrassed you on ethics last year, bro. I've never spoken to you. I don't know who you are. But you seem to know who I am. Many such cases. My name is spoken in rooms I would never enter.
Invite that Brazilian guy up from the other day. No. That was awful, dude. Oh my god, that was awful. Anyways,
we should definitely do this again, though. I think it was pretty fun. I think there's a way where I can actually bypass TikTok's rules by just fucking ripping the audio and the video off of my phone. I'll have to try and figure out how to do that, though.
Yeah, that could. I might actually have a suggestion or two for that. I'll get back to you because I have equipment that I use for
my
like
god,
ripping
Grok was saying that it was possible, so I trust everything Grok says.
Yeah, I'll look into it too because I use a device for doing that too already, but I've just never tried it for TikTok. We'll see. But that being said, I do these all the time, often randomly, but like almost any day I'm free. So just like literally let me know anytime.
You can set it up too if there's some settings in there somewhere where you can make it so mods or followers or fans get a recording of your live after your live shuts down if you want to do that too.
Oh yeah, if you want this live, I can send you the whole thing too. By the way, Zilla.
Can you give me the recording? Because I might want to make some clips.
Yeah, Eduardo, you should just post it unlisted. Send the link.
Yeah, I gotcha. All right.
I sound American, apparently.
I don't know about that.
I don't think I sound very American.
Yeah, I agree.
Wait, hold on, PraxBen. Do your impression of me.
I don't have an impression of you. What are you talking about?
I've heard that you have an impression of me.
I don't have.
I don't know who would have told him that, but
no, it's not even good. It was literally just doing like a vaguely Scottish accent.
Vaguely Scottish.
It wasn't even good. I'm not gonna do it.
Gotta do it now, man.
No.
No.
He's pleading the fifth.
I don't want to do it. I'll do a Jordan Peterson. LiquidZulu thinks he could beat me in debate, but that would not happen. He would lose terribly. So
nice.
Yeah.
It's all right. It's all right.
Bloody. You need to get more bloody in there.
I would bloody destroy him.
All right, guys. I'm gonna go ahead and end it. I appreciate all you guys' time. Thanks for all the over 100 viewers that chimed in. That was really surprising.
How does Zulu know about the fifth? That's
all right,
our
guys.
thing. You can't.
Everybody have a good night. See you around.